age of about 15 till 20, I was tired all the time. And people around you would say, oh, these are the prime years of your life, you know, you should be full of energy. But I just think, who are these people talking to? So the first thing that you want to look at is your environment. And the thing that helped me the most was looking at my bed as literally just a place to sleep. Because before, like, you scroll your phone in your bed, you'd watch Netflix in your bed, you kind of have a lazy morning in your bed. No. This is the number one biggest mistake you can make. You want to use your bed exclusively for sleeping at night. Even if you want to watch TV or watch a movie, like just relaxing, that's fine, but try and go to a different place. Go to your sofa, go to your living room, go to the cinema. Literally just avoid your bed for anything other than sleeping, because your brain will then make a connection between feeling tired and your bed as a location, so that it's so much easier when you come to wanting to go to bed, wanting to go to sleep. Your brain just sends those signals like, okay, now is time to rest. If you guys have been following the channel for a while as well, you'll know that I'm currently a uni student in London. So that means that a lot of my time is spent indoors, sat down. But I know for me that one of the biggest things that gives me energy is being outside, especially when it's sunny. Now, I know this can be a bit tricky depending on where you live in the world, but try and take advantage of those hours in the day where the sun is out, where it's bright, and you can just get that natural light in your eyes, on your face, because it just boosts your energy so much. And the third point that I think a lot of you will relate to as well is that normally around like 2 to 4 o'clock, I'll notice a massive dip in my energy. I mean, let me know in the comment section below if that's the time of the day where you guys feel like you don't have any energy either. But for me, the way around that is that I'll go and change my environment. So say I'm studying in the library or in my kitchen, in my living room, at my desk, I'll move to a coffee shop nearby, and then that kind of change of location just kind of reawakens my brain and gets me kind of concentrating again. And the second thing that I think you need to look at if you want to stop feeling less tired is your diet. So what I suggest doing is just making like a diary or a journal for your week, writing down what you eat throughout the day, but also writing down how your energy kind of levels change throughout the day. And then you can look to see if there is a correlation, if there is a link between what you're eating and how you're feeling and how much energy you've got at different points in the day, right? So for me, I know that I exercise first thing in the morning. So what I'll do when I come home, I'll make a breakfast that's kind of heavy on carbs. So I'll have some sort of porridge, chuck some fruit in, some nuts in, things like that. And that kind of replenishes all of the energy and the fuel that I need. And it's a little bit weird as well, but typically I'll have really similar meals. Like I'll always have the same breakfast. I pretty much normally just have the same lunch, some sort of eggs, some sort of fruit maybe. And then for dinner, that's where it can be a little bit different, but it's normally just some sort of meat, some sort of protein, lots of veg. Maybe I'll have it with some rice, like I'll do stir fry, curry, something like that. And this might be a little bit boring, but the thing is, I know what to expect then at different points in the day because I know how food, at least for me, affects my energy levels so much. And then the second thing I want to talk about in terms of diet is coffee, and I guess just caffeine in general. And I think caffeine's great, right? I don't think there's any kind of bad thing to it, but what does matter is what time in the day you're having caffeine. So the biggest tip I can give you guys is avoid caffeine until at least 60 minutes after you've woken up, because it's not gonna have an effect. So ideally, you guys will be waiting like an hour and a half before you have your first coffee, tea, whatever you're into. And then for me, I know that I need to stop drinking caffeine plenty of time before 4 o'clock, else I'm just gonna be kept up awake all night. Now, the third thing that you guys need to look at changing is exercise. Now, there is this really weird phenomenon, right? Where when we kind of spend energy, when we use it up, I know that's not strictly how it works, but the point is, when we're putting in a lot of effort into training or whatever, we actually get energy back, which is not at all how you think it would work. Now, there are 3 different kinds of exercise that I'm sort of doing that have given me the most sort of bang for my buck, the biggest return in terms of energy. So the first thing I'm doing is I am strength training 3 times a week. Now, I've only been doing it for the past sort of five or so months, hence why you can't notice too much of a difference, but I know that there's so many benefits. Obviously, you put on muscle, you improve your kind of bone density, whatever, like your strength. I don't need to go into that. There's plenty of people that are more qualified than me, but the point is you need to do some sort of heavy sort of weight lifting program at least twice a week. Now, the second thing that I've been doing is some sort of cardio type exercise and activity at least 2 times a week. Normally it's twice a week, sometimes it's 3 times a week, depending on how much time I've got. But basically what I try and focus on doing is some sort of zone 2 cardio. Now, this is a really, really oversimplification of it, but basically that means that whenever I'm doing, normally it's running, sometimes it's getting on an exercise bike, sometimes getting on the rowing machine, but normally it is running, and basically that just means that I'm going for 30 minutes, 45 minutes at a time, and I'm being able to hold a conversation, right? So it's kind of at a comfortable pace where normally I'll go with a friend or whatever, and we can just kind of have a chit chat along the way, and that kind of builds your long-term endurance over time. And the third thing I'm doing as well is I am stretching. I'm doing a little bit of yoga. I'm making sure that at the start and end of my training sessions, I'm stretching out my muscles, I'm stretching out my joints, just little things over time so that, you know, I don't want to be a creaky old man with awful joints. And whilst this doesn't massively impact your kind of energy, the reason you're doing it is that you can consistently exercise and stick to your strength training and your zone 2 cardio, because it just reduces the chance of you getting injured. It just makes you feel better, it makes you recover better so that you can do these kind of energy giving activities. The cool thing that I changed was my mindset, and this basically just stemmed from me looking at like who are the YouTubers that I followed, who are the people that are successful that I aspire to be, and I thought it was really strange that they seem to have time and energy to do everything, right? And they have so many different projects going on. And basically the biggest thing I did was I started journaling in this little book here. So I put down like my weekly goals and my monthly goals, and this made me just kind of prioritize towards the things that I wanted to devote most of my energy to. And look, the thing is, there are gonna be some days where you do feel especially tired, but I know that if I'm working towards these goals that I've got written down and I'm putting my energy towards that, then that's all that really matters. And if possible as well, you want to kind of cut out all of the tasks that don't give you energy, and look at it sounds brutal as well, but look at your relationships as well. Look at those kind of situations, the things you're doing. Great, if you're with a friend and you find yourself being uplifted by them and you find yourself being inspired, being full of energy, that's fantastic. That's obviously a relationship that you want to keep. But if you're doing an activity or seeing a friend and you're a bit sort of on the fence about it, then it sounds brutal, but like cut it off maybe, at least consider it. You've really got to be brutal and a bit ruthless with how you spend your time and how you spend your energy, because as much as those other 3 tips kind of can optimize your life and have optimized my life to give me so much energy, there's only a certain amount of it that you still have available. So if you're going to try and implement some of these techniques, let me know in the comments below. I'm really hopeful that they can help you too, because I know how good I've felt ever since I've started to change around my life. And if you're looking at another way of trying to save some energy, then you need to be looking at how you're approaching schoolwork. So there's going to be a couple of videos on the screen now that you can click on that help you optimize your time if you're at university or if you're at high school. So I'll see you all there.